And we are back for more. What is going on, everybody? It is Nolan, or the Optimistic Gamer here, and welcome back to our second ever live stream. We are down here in the Stronghold because today we are starting by, well, first of all, repairing our tools, and second of all, getting some obsidian. That is something that we need a little bit more of. So we are heading into the end to begin today's episode. Of course, our XP farm right down here, the Enderman farm, very efficient for us. And again, a very nice design. It's been a while since I've been out here, and I should probably turn down the hostile mob sounds before we get over there, because those Endermen are a noisy bunch. But today we have a few different things planned out for us, all written down in a book right here. The ones with the asterisk are items that we are for sure going to get to today. The other things, I guess I could put mine obsidian on there as well. Everything else is something that we will get around to if we find time to do so. So we're just going to take a few swipes at these Endermen and mend up primarily our Silk Touch pickaxe. That is what was in need of mending most, but we can see that durability increasing pretty quickly. Everything else is up there, but we are here, so we might as well repair everything all at once. But happy November to everybody. I hope you had a great Halloween yesterday. I certainly did. Had a little bit of candy, not a whole lot, but you know, enough to satisfy. But we are in November now, and of course things are starting to cool off a little bit. We are going to, as I said in yesterday's episode, we are going to be working on our pumpkin a little bit, the inside of that. We're going to make that not so much a Halloween, more so a just fall-themed pumpkin all around. And it should be really fun. We're going to make it nice and cozy on the inside of that. Alright, so our Silk Touch pickaxe is all mended. We'll swap that out for our axe, repair our hoe a little bit more, and our shovel, and then we should be good with all of that. Just a few more swipes here. And of course we did, oh yes, we also have our fortune pickaxe. We did have that unfortunate incident yesterday with the death by charged creeper, but we are gonna work our levels back up to where we were before. We didn't really need them for anything. We're pretty well enchanted all around. But I do want to make sure we get enough levels for today because I want to make a Fortune 3 hoe. We are going to be doing a bit of wood chopping, so we are going to need that. We don't necessarily need it, but it definitely helps to get some extra saplings out of those leaves and clear them away without cluttering our inventory with all of those leaf blocks. So all of our tools are mended now, as well as our armor. We have more than enough ender pearls. We will just get those tossed into the dispenser or the dropper right over here. There we go. We can always take a couple back home with us, or just throw them out of our inventory right here. Just gonna make sure that we don't hit anything else. You will notice that we have everything that we need for a beacon. We are going to build one right up here as we start mining all of that obsidian. We're just going to let these last few levels pile into our inventory or our experience bar. And we're going to go up here and set up a beacon next to the biggest tower. We're going to see how long this takes. It looks like this one right here. Ideally, we will mine the entire tower if it doesn't take us too long. But again, it is obsidian. This might take us a little bit of time. We have gold and iron blocks for this, so we are just going to place these down right here. The beacon that we built in the last live stream is still there, out at the I guess temporary, maybe permanent quarry. Haven't really decided on that yet. But we are leaving that platform there. The beacon, though, is moving back and forth. We don't have enough beacons to just set them up and leave them there. But we do have enough of these precious resources that we can set up the beacon bases and not have to worry about running out of those resources. So we're going to start with gold here on the bottom. That is all of the gold that we have. And then we are going to use the rest of the base. We're going to make the rest of it out of iron blocks. And we're just going to make sure that our silk touch pickaxe is in our hotbar. That way we don't accidentally break our ender chest or anything like that. I've done that plenty of times. We don't need that to happen today. Okay, I got worried there. I thought I was short one block, but we are good. We'll get the beacon put on there, get some haste 2 going, and we will fly up to the top of this tower and just work our way down. Again, I'm not really sure... Oh, I missed. Okay. I'm not really sure how long this is going to take. We're going to find out here. Hopefully with haste 2, it should go fairly quickly, but we will see. This might take quite a bit of time. Maybe we will just start with a few rows, maybe 5 or 10. I think mining this whole tower would take about an hour or 2, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to get a few stacks of obsidian. I want to have some just in our ender chest, so if we ever find anything interesting while we are exploring, we can build a nether portal. Also, I want to build a easier access portal at our quarry that we set up in last week's live stream. That way it is a little bit easier for us to get to that quarry. And of course we are going to link that to a portal on the roof so that we don't have to break through the nether ceiling again. But it is just really nice to have plenty of obsidian so that we don't have to go out and get some every time we want to have a portal or an enchantment table or anything like that. I'm curious to see how much we get from a single layer. It's going to be well over a stack, it looks like. Maybe about 80 obsidian? Which, if that's the case, we will go for 3 layers and get about 4 stacks. It might even be a little bit more. Maybe a stack and a half. I don't know. I think we might hit about that. Well, I don't know. Maybe a stack plus 24? There's actually a lot more obsidian. Of course, this is the largest tower that there is. If we were mining one of the smaller ones, like that down there, it would be a different story. But yeah, we're getting quite a bit out of this, actually, which is good. And of course, 10 obsidian per nether portal. 4 for an enchantment table. I mean, we don't really need enchantment tables. We only need one and we already have it. So I'm not really worried about that. And then, of course, beacons. As we continue to get wither skeleton skulls and fight more withers, then we will be crafting more beacons. Those are 3 obsidian per. And then the... what is the nether, the respawn anchor? We don't really have any of those. They're not really that useful to us. We're never in situations in the nether where we're in... oh, I forgot to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 64 plus 25, so 89 in total. So I think we will go for 3 layers. We'll get up to 4 stacks of obsidian. That should be more than enough for us. But yeah, we're never really in a position where we're gonna die in the nether and need to respawn right at that specific location. Of course, now with bastions and our elytra, if we get into a bad situation, we can just fly away. Not a problem at all. but I'd say this is going pretty well for us so far. Of course, even with Haste 2, it is still very, very slow to mine obsidian in the grand scheme of things, but look at that, we are already up to just about 2 stacks, maybe about 10 minutes in, or a little bit less actually, probably 7 or 8 minutes. So I just want to put a couple more obsidian right there so we know when we hit that 4 stack mark. So I briefly went over our plans for today. Of course, we will be, well, right now mining obsidian. We're also going to be doing some resource gathering. That includes going out to the quarry and mining some stone, and going to our tree farm and chopping a lot of wood. I want to fill up all of our wood chests today so that we don't have to go back to our tree farm for quite some time. And then I also, again, want to make a Fortune 3 hoe for when we are chopping wood. That will make it easier to get saplings and remove those leaves. And what else do we have on that list? Terraforming, I want to get the land to the... to the south of the museum taken care of, leveled out, and have that ready to work on future projects. Not that we're necessarily going to be working there right away, but when we go to do that, I want that to be finished. We may or may not get around to extending some of our paths throughout the valley, our nether hub, and finishing the wall. I do want to fix the lighting in the storage building. Of course, when you live with something for a while, you just become numb to it. You don't really notice it. We have a bunch of torches just placed on the floor of our storage building as our light source, and though it works, I want something a little more permanent and a little more homely, so we are going to do something a little nicer than torches for the floor in there. And I think that covers everything. Lighting and storage, gathering stone, wood, fortune hoe, and mining obsidian. That covers everything that I absolutely want to get to in the live stream. And then, like I said, if we have some extra time, then getting into the nether, working on the nether hub a little bit more, working on the paths and that wall that we were working on last week. And do I have anything else written down? Torch flowers and pitcher plants, not lance, there we go. Pitcher plants, I want to plant both of those. We have a lot of those seeds from our sniffers. In fact, the normal size chest is almost all the way full with all of those seeds. So we are actually going to plant those on our automatic potato farm. It will actually work the same way for us. Once they are finished growing, we will just activate that water and it will rush down that whole farm and send all of those fully grown flowers into our hoppers. And we can pick them up just once they are finished growing. And anything else on here? Finishing the wall, the nether hub, that covers just about everything for today. So again, depending on how much time we have, some of those things we may or may not get to. Again though, the asterisked items are all ones that I want to make sure that we get around to. That's just going to help us overall with moving forward in our world. And speaking of moving forward, we are coming up on episode 93, if you can believe it. So we are definitely nearing our museum. I've been hard at work, both in our survival world and in a creative test world, just planning it out and making sure that it is going to be awesome and live up to all of the expectations and hype that I am giving it. I'm really excited for that. Again, that reveal of the build will be in episode 100. I also have a tutorial for it that I put out, I think earlier this week, and you can go check that out if you would like. You're going to need a lot of mud, a lot of anvils, and a lot of tough if you were building that in survival. But there we go. 4 stacks of obsidian, that is enough for us, more than enough for us. So let's make our way home. And there we go. I always forget that we return right where our spawn point is. And of course we have a rain shower. Speaking of, if you saw yesterday's Halloween episode, unfortunately, during that thunderstorm, we did actually have a fire break out in probably the worst place for a fire to, well, maybe the second worst place. Our storage building would be pretty devastating. But at our villager trading hall, we did have a fire break out. Luckily, the rain put it out somewhat quickly. I mean, this could have been a lot worse for us. Luckily, it only happened here in the roof, but that is definitely a sign to us that we need to get some lightning rods put onto all of our wood buildings around here, because if this building burned down, of course the brown mushroom blocks wouldn't have burned, but on the inside, the floor would have burned, all of these pillars would have burned, and unfortunately most of our villagers probably would have perished in that fire. So that could have been devastating. We definitely need to be a lot more mindful when we have thunderstorms that move in. But moving on from that, let's head over to our storage building. I guess we could go ahead and start with the lighting in here, just get it taken care of and out of the way. So what I'm thinking is just putting up some lanterns going around on the underside of this floor right here. I'm not too concerned about the second floor right now. We do have torches up here, but we rarely ever come up here. Although we never finished this railing right here. So yeah, maybe we'll just do that right now. And hello to Sir Quentin, I believe is how I say that name. Welcome to the stream and welcome into the chat. And feel free to leave a comment, anyone who is watching. Just comment where you're from, how your day's going, all of that good stuff. We are just here hanging out and chatting. So that rail is finished up. That is perfect. It used up the rest of our white glass in there. Okay, our obsidian. We need to store that away. Do we want to keep this in our ender chest? I think that might actually be a pretty good idea. We won't keep it in any specific shulker box for now. We will just place it in there like that. So the lighting on the first floor, I think we're just going to do some lanterns hanging from the ceiling. I'm not really sure how we will light up in the middle right here, because it will probably get pretty dark, especially at night. Maybe we could do some kind of floor lighting in there, cover it up with carpet, or just leave it exposed. But we're going to start with removing these torches here around the perimeter and go through and hang some lanterns from the ceiling. So I think we will place one right there in that corner, and then I guess we could just align it maybe with our signs right here on the roof or on the ceiling. Does that work? I guess we won't really know until night. We will line one up here in the middle, get one in that corner, one right here in front of that sign. We do already have one up there, and we never finished those cherry stairs either. Now that I'm really paying attention to all of this, there's a lot that we never got around to. We also never got around to a front door, but actually I really like this open concept here of just having it exposed like this. This area is all lit up enough that we don't have any hostile mobs spawning. The closest that they do spawn in is probably right over here past this cherry tree. I don't know if they spawn on the farmland. I don't think they do though, so it might be a ways away. Nonetheless, they don't spawn anywhere around here, so we can leave that open safely even at night. And it looks like the sun is starting to set off in the distance, so that will give us a better sense of where we need to place a few more lanterns. Let's remove the rest of these torches going around the edge. And I think we have a few more right there. So yeah, it's a little bit dark going around the edge. Do we have lanterns on the outside? I guess we have those street lights. That is where that light spill is coming from. And then of course we have lanterns in our tree and around the trunk of that. It's actually fairly lit up, all things considered. We do still need some lanterns going around that edge, but I think this is actually light enough. Let's just double check. Block 5. Okay, so maybe not. We will get hostile mobs spawning on there if we don't have any light on it. Let's get the rest of these lanterns put into place before we have any monsters spawning over here. That would not be a good time for us. And just a few more lined up with the signs as well. So that lights up this row. So we just need a lantern there in the middle, and then we will do one right here, one right there, and maybe one right here over the crafting table, just like that. Do we have enough light right here? Actually, I forgot. Mob spawn in light level 0. I was still in my pre-1.18 or 1.17 mindset that they could spawn under 7. So we are actually good right here. As long as we don't have 0 on any of these blocks, which we do not, then we are golden. And we do not. So we are good. Everything is all lit up, and that actually looks a lot better having those put into place. That takes care of lighting. We can cross that off of our list. We can also cross off mine obsidian. We can cross off mend tools as well. So we are now left with gathering some wood, terraforming, gathering stone, and making a fortune hoe. We will do this first because we actually need that before we start gathering wood. So let's get a diamond hoe. I'm assuming we have that already, perhaps from a ancient city, or not ancient city, why can I not think of the name? End City. This has Curse of Vanishing on it, but it has Fortune 3, Efficiency 5, and Unbreaking 3. We might as well use it. We're not going to put mending on this, or at least not right now, but as long as we don't die, we will be okay. So we can actually go ahead and cross that off of our list. So we need to gather wood, terraform, and gather stone. Let's head over to our tree farm, or actually, let's go ahead and sleep real quick. We will just occupy one of these beds at our villager breeder, which I have had turned off for quite a while. All that means is just having that trapdoor flip down, then they lose their line of sight of these beds right here, and they end up not breeding. I take that back. I guess they are still breeding. Okay, well, ignore that then. We are going to need to figure out something else for that. I think just placing a full block or even wrecking one of those beds, but the more villagers the better. We need them for our librarians on the second floor of the trading hall anyway. We do need to go grab some bone meal actually, and we might as well put these lanterns away. And the torches as well. We will get both of those thrown into there. We will grab some bone meal from over here. We don't need a whole lot, just a few stacks. And the goal of this, again, is to fill up all of these chests over here with their respective wood type. So lots of oak, spruce, birch, jungle, cherry, bamboo, and dark oak. And then for acacia and mangrove, just a single chest of each. We also have a wood shulker box that we need to fill up as well, and when we go to the quarry, a stone shulker box. So I think we are going to be pretty busy today. Let's figure out what wood we want to start with. I think we will just go with dark oak to begin. And we're just going to start removing some of these leaves. Again, the Fortune 3 should apply to the leaves, according to what I've read online. And it looks like it is. We already have 3 saplings out of just the top layer of leaves, and we are up to 6. So for some of these trees, this is actually how I like to do them. Just starting at the top, removing some of those top layers of leaves, and then breaking the wood from the top down. And for the dark oak farm, we have 8 trees in total that we fit on the plot, which means we need 32 dark oak saplings. We are already up to 20. So I think by just removing one more layer, maybe we will want to put mending on this hoe after all. It is depleting pretty quickly, even with Unbreaking 3. But we should have enough saplings now, 31, and I think there's 1 or 2 lingering over here. That's 32, so the rest of this we can just break. I just wanted to make sure that we got enough saplings, that way we could move on to another tree type after we harvest this, and we don't have to worry about coming back here and picking up the saplings that drop from the decaying leaves. So of course, trees like dark oak, spruce, jungle, those woods will go pretty quickly because they have so much wood per tree. Trees like oak and birch, those will take a little bit longer to fill up a large chest, but that's okay, we are here for it. I do need to see about planting all of the oak trees directly next to each other though, and just have a wall of oak wood. That might work a little bit better. Of course, we could also use azalea if we wanted to get oak wood. That also might be a little bit better. Then we don't get the extra large oak trees. And already we are up to about 3 stacks of our dark oak wood. As I said, this is going to go pretty quickly. We have a little bit of dark oak wood already, not a whole lot though, so we are going to need to spend a little bit of time here. Again, the spruce is going to go the fastest. We get 8 trees on that single plot. Each tree has about 1.5 stacks of wood. So, you know, do the math on that, and it's, what is that, 12 stacks per, if my math is correct, I don't know. I'm trying to do it in my head and talk at the same time. Nonetheless, it will go pretty quickly for us. I'm sure we will have to make a trip back to the end at some point, though, to mend our axe. We'll see how this goes. Well, actually, we are going to have to go back to the end at some point because I'm remembering I left the beacon in there, and we are going to need that for when we go to the quarry later on. We may even take a break from chopping if we get bored of it, and then return towards the end of the stream. Again, just depending on how we feel, basically. Because it does get quite repetitive sometimes. But it is certainly very important for us. So we are going to spend the time to do it. A couple more pieces of wood right there, and that covers everything. We can replant all of our dark oak saplings now, and we don't need the book in our hotbar right this minute. And again, we are just going to plant these, one in each corner right here, and then kind of alternating as we go around to give each tree enough space to be able to grow. And yes, we are certainly getting a lot of saplings out of this. We can throw those into our water canal right here, and those will go off to the storage house over there, which I did fix, by the way. We just had a minor glitch. It wasn't anything to do with the item filters. It was just a glitch in the system. It has been taken care of now, and it is back up and running. So, all of our dark oak trees have been replanted. Let's bone meal these jungle trees, if we can. I've had some issues with this. I think jungle trees need a little bit more space than what we're giving them. But that's okay, we will just get started on these two right here. We'll just work our way from the bottom up on these, and then get some saplings as we work our way up. Of course, jungle trees have a pretty low sapling drop rate, so we just want to make sure that we get enough out of those. We do have a lot of jungle saplings back at our house, our storage house, but still I just want to make sure that we get enough of them to replant these trees right here. We got 3 from that, 4, and there might be a few more down on the ground. We will find out once we get down there. Grab these logs right here. That takes care of our first jungle tree, nice and quick. We'll get that replanted and work on this one next. Once again, we will collect as many saplings as possible. We already have 5, so we are at a surplus with it, which is good, and we are up to 8, 10. I just want to make sure that we have some extras as we move forward. And there we go, that is jungle tree number 2. Put those saplings back. I wonder if it would be faster to do the individual ones, but at the same time they can get pretty tall, so we might have to work our way from the top down for those. I guess we could move on to oak. In the meantime though, we can go ahead and throw all of these wood items into our canal, even the apples as well. We have a sorting mechanism for that, and the sticks and saplings too. I do want to make sure that those make their way into our sorting mechanism though, so let's go ahead and fly back there and just make sure that everything is being put into its proper place. So down here the chest should be getting loaded up, and it looks like it is, and that hopper is filling up. We have all of our dark oak coming in, and that's going to take a little while. The other big thing I just want to make sure we don't have happen is that the items somehow find their way out of the canal. I think I had that issue 1 or 2 times during testing, but then I revised it and prevented it. So it looks like we are good as we work our way up here. What would happen is they would get stuck on this block right here, so I extended the walls out just a little bit more, and it looks like the canals are working perfectly. Let's go ahead and sleep, get the bed out of our ender chest, and we'll grab that dark oak sapling. Why not? And I guess we can do birch next. We are right up here. We'll bone meal the rest of these trees. And one more over in this corner. And did I see one on this side? Yes. There we go. And again, we will get to work on this. I'm not too worried about birch saplings and their drop rate. So we will just get to work on chopping these and pick up the saplings from the decaying leaves. Again, same thing with oak. I wonder if we can just plant birch trees directly adjacent to each other and just have a wall of birch wood that we can just go through and chop down. We'll have to experiment with that. Or just turn this entire plot into one solid birch tree. I guess we could maybe try that as well. Lots of different options with this. It's all about making it as efficient as possible. Alright, so that is all of the birch wood. Nice and easy to collect too. We never have issues with it getting stuck on other leaves. Those saplings will start to drop, and we can throw this once again into our canal, and that will make its way into our storage building. As these saplings drop, let's move over to the acacia wood. Of course, this we are only filling up a single chest, not a double chest, so we can probably only have to do this a few times versus some of the other wood types. We'll just start from the top here. Some of these can be pretty tall and difficult to reach. So we'll just remove the wood up here, and then we'll go down to the ground and work our way from the bottom up once we make it a little bit more accessible for us. There we go, we'll just remove these last few logs up top, and we should be able to reach everything else from the ground. Let me just double check over here. It looks like we have a couple more right in here. Again, most of these we should be able to get from down below. And we will get to work on all of this. Some of those leaves will start decaying and get out of our way. The reason we only have a single chest of acacia wood is because I really don't use it all that much. It's hard to find a use for it, especially when it doesn't really tie in with the theme of our world. There will be instances, and of course the armadillo enclosure did actually have lots of acacia in it, and there may have been one other build, and I do actually like the logs, the gray from the logs, but we just really don't have a whole lot of use for them with our current theme. We are using a lot of oak and dark oak and spruce, so it's hard to fit in wood like acacia that just has a very standout pattern to it. We'll just navigate through this mess of leaves as we get these final few logs up here in the canopy. And a few more right here. And is that everything? I think there may be one or two more lingering, although maybe... Okay, yes, we do have one more right up there. I think that is everything now. It looks like those leaves started to decay pretty quickly once we got that log. And of course a couple more right over here. I see one more up there. And that should be everything. So let's head back up to the birch plot where we should have lots of saplings now. Although, not actually as much as I thought. I guess 29, that's pretty good. We had 25 trees before. We have a few down here as well. So the single trees, our oak, acacia, birch, trees like that, we have been doing 25 on a plot. But again, I think we are about to try something a little bit different with this, and we will just see if this works. I'm very curious about this. Let's test this out. Well, so far, so good. I guess it is working. This is going to make it even easier for us. It definitely uses a lot more bone meal, I think. But that's okay. We have plenty of bone meal. Maybe not. Some of these are going pretty quickly. That is definitely a lot more convenient for us, though. We're going to need to get a lot more birch saplings from the storage building. That one took a lot of bone meal. 11, I think. But some of these are going pretty quickly, and it is kind of making up for it. Alright, so that is all of our birch saplings right now. I guess we could just go around these sides and get some more from these leaves using our fortune hoe. There's 9. And that will put us up to 21. Excellent. We'll just get some more of these placed down and just continue this method. I guess we could go all the way around the perimeter too. I just don't want to have too many drops landing down here on the sides of our canal. If they land in the water, of course, it's no big deal. But I do need to kind of figure out a better method of how to go about that. Maybe some ladders down there just to make it easier to get back up. Some of the platforms like this one up here, we can jump down here and then we can quickly get back on top of it. But other platforms are much more elevated from the canal. If we try to get back up, we have to place a block or go far away from it. Parkour. There's not really easy access back up. Alright, well that certainly worked out for us. We are out of bone meal, but we have a solid block of birch wood now, and we can just go into this thing from the top and just work our way through. This is definitely a lot easier than what we were doing before, and my guess is because it worked with the birch, it will also work with the oak. Again though, I'm tempted to try using azalea instead, just because of the large oak trees that sometimes generate and throw everything out of balance. And did we start with an empty? Yes. We did not have any birch logs in our inventory when we started, so this will give us a really good idea of just how much birch we get out of this. Of course, we didn't fill up the entire plot. We got maybe about halfway, but even better, I still think it's going to be significantly more than what we had before. And it is a lot easier. We don't really have to deal with any of the leaves. Now, the only thing about it is we are going to have less leaves as a byproduct of this. So we actually really need to make sure we are fortuning all of these, not just letting them decay naturally, because when one tree grows, it replaces the leaves of the tree that was already there, and then we just end up with less leaves overall. and I don't want to run out of saplings as we do this. So we're going to clear away all of these leaves with the fortune hoe, and I think we are going to want to get mending put onto this thing. It's already at about half durable. And that put us up to 12 saplings plus whatever is on the ground down there. So we'll just continue going around. We should probably sleep though. Run over to our bed. And we will get back to work up here. I guess we could also compare it to how much birch we got from the first round of this by just going down to our wood storage and checking that out. I'm going to remove those 2 saplings for now, just so they don't grow on top of what we're trying to do. And it's certainly a lot faster too. Like I said, we don't have to work around any of those leaves. So let me just make sure we don't have anything around the edge of the plot. It looks like we are clear and all of the leaves have decayed. So let's head down to our storage building. Let's see what we are at birchwood wise. I think we got about 2.5 stacks maybe from our experiment before. Yeah, a little under 2.5 stacks, and from this we got close to 5 stacks. 1, 2, 3, 4.75 stacks from all of that. That is a lot better, a lot higher yield for us, I guess, since we are down here. Well, actually, things look like they are working pretty nicely. We have our saplings filtering into the final chest. What else? We put some apples in there. We have weeping vines. I don't really know how that happened. Sticks, those are filtering as they should. What other woods have we worked with? Our dark oak is in there. Our jungle, we can add that. And we will put our acacia logs into there as well. Not bad. We need some more bone meal. So let's run back and grab some of this real quick. And we'll just use the rest of these bone blocks. If we run out, we spent a lot of time at the hostile mob farm not too long ago, and we have a shulker box full of bones plus all of these. So we have about 2 large chests worth of bone meal if we need it. I guess we probably could have grabbed a few more birch saplings, but what we may end up doing... Well, I don't want to take too much time with this. I was going to say we could just plant how we did before and remove all of those leaves. I think what we will do, though, is just plant a row of birch trees, normally, like this. But just a single row, so that we have those leaves on all sides. And then we will go around with the fortune hoe and get some extra saplings out of these. There we go. Something like that. And we should see that we have a lot more. 32 now. We're going to do that same thing one more time. What do we get out of this? 9 by 9, I think. Yeah, 9 by 9. So we need 81 saplings every time we go to do this. Same with the oak. So we just want to stay on top of this. And one more time, we'll just go around. Grab all of these leaves. And that put us up to 38. So I think we will just do this until we get to the edge here. And then we'll see where we are at. And of course we have so much wood right here now that the leaves are no longer generating on this side, so we're only getting them on the sides and on the front. But again, that put us back up to 38, so it looks like we are just kind of breaking even, which is good. Maybe even +1 right there. And we actually have one down here. We might even have one over here. Well, I guess we won't, because we don't have any trees over there. And again, we do have a lot of birch saplings back at our storage building, so if we ever truly get in a bad situation, we can go back there and grab a few more. Or we can find a birch forest and just get them from that method. And once again, that put us at 38. Nope, 39. So it looks like we are getting about 9 saplings every time that we do this, and we also have all of the leaves up top. We will get a few more from all of those. We are just about out of bone meal once again. $37. Let's see if we have a couple more around here. Doesn't look like we do, so we lost 2 on that one. That's okay. Let's see if we can finish off this row with the bone meal that we have. Oh yeah, easily. Lots of saplings from this one. That is what we like to see. Well, it looked like a lot more as we were breaking those leaves. 38. We should have enough now to just go ahead and finish up all of this. Well, I don't want to place them down, otherwise they are a little bit more difficult to bone meal. And we are out of bone meal, so let's head back one more time. I think we will just bring the entire shulker box of bones over to the farm. That way we have quick access to them. And then we don't have to fill up our inventory with bone meal. We can just craft it as we need it. But that is a great sight to see, all of this birch right here. We might as well just get all of these leaves up top while we are at it. Lots of saplings to be had up here. There we go. One more right there. Of course, we are stuck. I just want to keep an eye on the yield overall, so that's why I put that sapling or that log back. So, we are just about finished with this, and we are now up to 52 saplings. 53. Are we gonna have any more around here? 53 saplings now, plus these ones right in front. And this might even get us the rest of the way there with all of the birch that we need. We'll just have to see. Now we are at over a stack of birch saplings. A stack plus 4. Let's go ahead and swap those out. Or I guess maybe we don't need the firework rockets right now. We'll just hold those in our offhand. A couple more rows here. I guess if we wanted to, again, we could go around the outer edge. I don't want to do that though, then we end up with too much stuff down in the canals, which we might even have a few more birch saplings over in our storage house. We will have to go check that out once we finish up all of these. Alright, final row here. Let's get that placed down. Start bone mealing all of this. And then we will get those last few leaves. I want to make sure that we have enough birch saplings to be able to just plant all of them at once, which it looks like we are going to be close. Again, 81 is the number, so that is a stack plus 17. So if we can get that, which we are going to be very close with this, actually. We are at a stack plus 5. We need 12 more. If we can get that out of this top section of leaves, then we will have enough to go back and plant all of this one more time. I want to see if when we go back to plant them again, if we get 81 saplings out of the leaves that we get that are just left over. Of course, right now we were just building up our sapling supply, but that is okay. So we are now at 12. We need 5 more. We can just grab them from our storage building. And welcome back to the stream, Michael. Can I call you Michael? I've never asked if that's okay. If Michael is okay. If you just want to let me know if that's alright. But today we are working on gathering some wood. We are trying to fill up all of our wood chests in our storage. Right now we are working on birch. We have a giant plot, a giant block of birch wood right here. And we already spent a little bit of time in the end. Okay, perfect. Then I will refer to you as Michael. That sounds good. We spent a little bit of time in the end this morning gathering some obsidian. We brought a beacon into there with some haste, and we also mended our tools a little bit. And again, now we are just chopping wood. We are working on birch right now. We got a little bit of dark oak, and we are just filling up all of those chests. As for the rest of the agenda, of course I have it written down. So we are terraforming over by the museum, and we are gathering stone for sure. That's what those asterisks are for. And then if we have some extra time, we might work on any or all of those things down there. But for now, the main focus is wood and stone gathering. And I discovered this great new method of chopping down the birch wood, or gathering it, that we are also going to implement for the oak wood, although we may end up using azalea instead. That is a lot of birch. I need to do the same. Yeah, absolutely. I don't really know what we are going to use all of this birch for. I mean, we've never even used this much to begin with. I think the most birch that we used... When was the last time that we used birch? I don't even remember. Where did we use birch? I know we used it on something, but I have no clue where it was. Maybe we haven't. Maybe a floor or something like that. That's all bamboo. I don't know. I don't know that we've ever used birch in a large quantity, but we are getting it just in case. And then I did fix whatever our issue in the storage building was for all of the wood, the item filters. We just had a bit of a technical glitch. That is taken care of now, so we are up and running in that department once again. But I am curious to see how much birch we get out of this. It's 9 by 9, so 81 logs per row, times probably an average of 6, so about 480 birch wood in all. So what is that, about 8 stacks? We are up to almost 4. Are you going to add another wood platform for the pale oak? Absolutely, yes. I don't really know where we will do that. We may swap out one of the nether wood types. Those just really don't fit in here. Of course, then we will be left with an odd number of plots. But yeah, we will definitely have a plot for the pale oak wood. But I think we have a little bit of time before we get there. Most likely early June for that, as per usual. But who knows, this tree farm may not even be here in early June. We may have developed this into something else by that point. We might have a better tree farm somewhere else. Maybe we should bring a haste beacon over here. That might not be a bad idea for all of this chopping that we are planning on doing today. We'll go ahead and do that once we get all of this birch wood removed. Alright, final layer here, and then we will be finished with this. I wonder if this would work the same for the dark oak. We will have to try that too. Not that it really matters, those trees are already very high yield to begin with, but it might not be a bad idea. I just like being able to go down in a solid row and not have to deal with any of those leaves. Alright, and done. So that takes care of all of that birch wood. Let's just check the canals here, make sure we don't have any lingering, and it looks like we are good there. So how much did we end up with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5 stacks, just under 8 stacks. We will add this into the canal. That will make its way down to the storage building. We will throw the sticks in there as well, those extra leaves. The saplings, we will hang on to these birch saplings and probably replant those when we are ready to do birch again. Let's set up a beacon right over here. We will need, I did do the math since last week's stream, it's 164 blocks for a full beacon base. We already used a lot of our blocks in the end, and of course we have our beacon base at the quarry way out in the distance, so we will see what we can get away with our current blocks. I did also empty out the iron farm back at spawn before the start of today's episode. I think we're going to be close, and we certainly don't have a netherite block. We're going to be close with this, but we will see how it goes. Let's see, that's 17. Oh no, we're not going to be that close. 24, 33, 34, 74. We are less than halfway there. So we may actually have to get a beacon base from somewhere else. That's okay. We don't really need the beacon base in the end anymore, so we will just get it from there. We have enough obsidian. We did actually mine, Michael, we mined 4 stacks of obsidian at the start of the stream. It went pretty quickly. It took us maybe about 15-20 minutes to do that. So let's get the rest of that emerald put away. Gold. Might not be a bad idea for a combined platform for the nether woods. That would free up a platform for the pale oak. Don't remember if you had a separate platform for each stem. Yeah, we do have 2 different platforms for those stems over there. Although you can't grow, if I'm not mistaken, you can't grow the crimson wood on the warped nylium and vice versa. So we need to have that ground be consistent. So I'm not 100% sure if that would work. Of course, we just bone meal the netherrack right next to it. But yeah, I mean, for now, we're just going to leave it as is. And then we will just figure out expanding. Although, 1, 2, 3, we actually do have room for a 12th platform. I completely forgot about this. So scratch all of that. We will just build the pale oak right here. Okay, just half and half the ground. Yeah, we certainly could, but yeah, I forgot about this plot right there. So we will use that for the pale oak. Alright, let's head into the end. We might as well repair... Well, we should put mending on the diamond hoe real quick. Do we want to do mending on Curse of Vanishing? That is the question. Let's check our enchantment books in our house and see if we have Fortune 3. Where would it be? Alright, so we want Fortune 3. If we do, we're just going to make a new hoe. We do not. Okay, so we're just going to put mending on this, even though it has Curse of Vanishing. We're not going to play around with charged creepers, and we're not going to be in any dangerous situations when we have this in our inventory. And worst case scenario, we found that in an end city, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe an ancient city. I said end city earlier, but I'm realizing now it would make more sense that I forgot the emeralds. I'm realizing it would make more sense that it would be in the ancient city. But yeah, if we lose it, it's not like we created it to begin with. We're definitely not going to make a netherite hoe that has Curse of Vanishing on it, so we will make a different one for when we want netherite. So we need a book, and I think it's 14 emeralds for the mending. Reg asks, how do I join? Well, to join the stream, you are already here. To join this world, it is actually a single player world. It is just part of our survival series that we have been doing for quite some time. What am I looking for here? A book. So this is just a single player world. We are on episode 92, going on to 93 of the world. And this is how our valley is looking so far. That's our museum in the fog right there. It's pretty developed. That was our episode yesterday, our Halloween special, carving a giant pumpkin. We are gonna be working in that a little bit more in the month of November. It's still the season of pumpkins. Ghosts and ghouls and skeletons and zombies may have come to an end, but it's still gonna be fall for a little while longer. I think our mending book, and I guess the villagers are still finding ways to breed, even though their population is quite high. Where is our mending villager? I'm trying to remember. Again, this is why we really need to get our trading hall set up, put into place. I run into this problem every time we come here. He might be up here. Sharpness. We have all these great trades. Looting. Those iron golems right there are having a conversation with each other. And more baby villagers all around. Nobody in there. At least it's nighttime. They're going to sleep. It should make them a little bit easier to find. Looting 3. Infinity. What do we have over here? Protection. Silk touch. Looting. Good grief. Maybe out here? On the outside of the village. Still don't know how they got out here. Mending. Alright, there we go. So we have our mending book. We will get that put on to the diamond hoe. I was going to say we'll go ahead and get some sleep first, but since we are going into the end, we will leave it as night so it is daytime when we come back. I don't know how expensive this is going to be. We're about to find out. 2 levels, not bad. Of course, we are down from 93 or whatever we were at from the last episode when we had that charged creeper explosion. That was a bit of a tragedy. Luckily, none of our stuff got destroyed. And this is another thing that we need to work on our nether hub for having a branch to our end portal over here. This one, though, I don't think we will have a giant hallway. I think what we will do instead is have the one that turns, that goes to the swamp. We will have a smaller auxiliary hallway that goes down to this portal. So into the end we go. Down to the XP farm we go. Well, do we want to do XP first or haste? I guess we'll do XP. Get it out of the way. We are already making our way down here. And hostile mob sounds should still be turned down from the last time. So we're just going to give them a good whack here as we hold the diamond hoe in our offhand. And that shouldn't take too long to get the levels back up. We'll get rid of some of these ender pearls as well. We'll need to give them one more whack here. And that should be enough to mend that hoe fully. We'll hit the pickaxe too while we are at it. Maybe get our axe as well. Although that really isn't that low. But we are here, and we are using that axe quite a bit today. So we might as well do that. So we'll wait for the rest of those levels there. Perfect. And let's go grab our beacon, which is right over here. So this is what we mined earlier, just a couple layers off of this giant tower right here, and that gave us 4 stacks worth. So if we really wanted to, we could mine that entire tower, but I don't think we're gonna do that. We'll start from the bottom with this, use that haste effect, and then work our way up towards the top. I probably need to do another day of AFKing at our gold farm. That way we can get a few more blocks. The last time I went AFK there, we had an issue with the crafters. Our rotten flesh was clogging the gold crafter, and it ultimately led to a clog of the entire hopper system, which then meant we lost out on a lot of items because all those hoppers just filled up with rotten flesh, only a few gold nuggets. So the next time we go back there, I will have to fix that a little bit. Just a tip, if you have your mouse over the item in your inventory and press Ctrl Q, it ejects the whole stack. I did actually know that. I just don't like using that in the void and with those hoppers, because if I accidentally go over, say, our fortune pickaxe and it gets ejected, that would be a sad day. So yes, I do appreciate that though. Alright, there's our beacon. Of course, that takes a little longer to mine. We should have everything from that. And let's head back, get this built next to our wood farm. Get haste 2 on there, and that should make it go even quicker. So we will build this. We want this sort of central so that we get it down here as well. We'll just build it right here. And we'll start with the gold on the bottom. There we go. Go sleep real quick. We don't need any creepers blowing up our gold. Alright, perfect. And we will just start to fill this in. And again, getting haste 2 for this should make the chopping go even faster, which we are all about maximizing efficiency today. That is why we got the Fortune 3 hoe. That is why we are building this beacon right here. And look at that, we even have an emerald left over from the village that we can use to power that on. Alright, so let's hit the birch one more time. Again, we're just going to do the solid rows, and we are going to need a lot of bone meal for this. So let's grab that out as well. A few stacks of that. There we go. And we will just start to go down the row. And again, we are not too concerned with getting the leaves this time. I also want to see how many saplings we get from just the solid block of wood. So that is why we are not collecting them ahead of time. My guess is we are not going to get 81 saplings out of the leaves that are left on top of this. Alright, we are a little over halfway now. And I think we actually are a few saplings short as well. I think we said we need 5 from the storage building, so we will go grab those here in just a second. But yeah, we are flying through that bone meal as well. No shocker. I still prefer this over the way that we were doing it before, though, having them spaced out like how the oak trees down there are. And last row here, yes, we need 5 more. Actually, again, we might have some down in the wood house, right down here, the storage. Let's see how this is doing. The birch chest, nice and full, and our saplings over here. Oh, we have 3. You know what? That is close enough. We don't need all 5. We will go with 3, and we'll be a couple short. It is very satisfying to chop down a block of the woods. Yes, I absolutely agree. Alright, so 2 short, that's okay. Let's go around the edge and on top of this and just get as many saplings as we can. Again, I don't think we will get all that many, maybe a half stack to a stack, if that, but that might even be a little bit generous. We will just see how this goes. Alright, so we've gone around the perimeter now, and we are up to 27 saplings, so I think we're going to get about a stack from this by the time we hit what's on top, maybe a little less. But I don't think we have any around on the edges right there. So let's fly up to the top, or I guess just staircase our way up there, and that is a lot better with the haste 2, that's for sure. And then we will get the rest of these leaves up here. I think we are definitely going to have a sapling deficit, though. So we need to find a better way to do this, because it isn't fully sustainable. Looks like we got 38 plus whatever is on the ground around us. 39, 40. So we got about half as many saplings as what we used. Is that 44, 45, just a tiny bit over half the amount that we used. We used 81 for this, or I guess we used 79, and we are at 46. But that's okay. Again, birch saplings are one of those things, 47, that we can get pretty easily. We can just go to a birch forest far away or something, or just plant a bunch of trees normally and load up on saplings that way. But this should get us pretty close to filling up the small chest in the wood house down there. I think we're going to need to do this maybe 2 or 3 more times altogether, and then we will have enough birch to fill up the large chest in the storage building, and that will be 1. I think we're going to do birch, spruce, and dark oak today, maybe jungle, and then we will do cherry, oak, acacia, and mangrove. Mangrove takes a very long time. Of course, we only have a single chest of it for that very reason, but we will do that probably on next week's stream as well, or I might just do that between now and then, depending on if we need the wood. Ugh, mangrove is so pretty, but the worst to harvest. Yes, it totally is. I wish there was a better way to do it. Although I have a method that I think works pretty well for harvesting it. I just plant maybe 10 trees at a time in the same place, and then I just fly up to the top. Normally I would use a silk touch hoe because that's just what I've always had, but now we're going to start using that fortune hoe. That way we don't have the leaves dropping everywhere, and then just composting all of those extra bits. I would compost the leaves before, but of course now we don't really have to, and with our hostile mob farm giving us a shulker box worth of bones every hour, we really don't need the automatic bone meal composter setup thing that we have in the farm over there, at least not for making bone meal. It's useful to get rid of stuff, but we don't need it for producing bone meal. We also have our very, very slow bone meal farm back at spawn, the byproduct of the iron farm, which is pretty convenient, but of course we only get a few bone blocks every 10 Minecraft days or so. It is very, very slow. Because it requires 9 bone meal from a composter, and of course the composter requires probably 8 to 12 poppies per bone meal, so we're talking over 100 poppies, which is a lot of iron golems. So that put us up to, again, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5 stacks, so we are getting 7.5 basically every time, or 15 stacks every time we do this twice. That math is a little bit easier to add up. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and use that Control Q method right here. So 47 birch saplings. We're gonna leave those unplanted right now. We'll just throw them into our ender chest. And I think next we will move on to, do we want to do dark oak next? I do actually want to try that same method with the dark oak, so I think we will do dark oak. Our saplings should be down in the storage house, but we are just gonna fly up on top of here and use the diamond hoe again, and just get as many saplings as we can ahead of time. I guess with the dark oak trees, though, when we go to plant them, we're going to have to place down these saplings one at a time, if this even ends up working for us, which I don't know if it will. I don't think it's going to work to just have a row of these saplings, since they are 2 by 2 instead of just single saplings. But it could be something worth trying. But yes, it definitely goes a lot faster than the birch. These are just 8 trees that we had planted right here, and not including what's already fallen onto the ground, we're already up to almost 2 stacks. I mean, I don't really even think we would need to do that method that we were using for the birch, but I am very curious about it, and again, it's nice to not have to work with the leaves all around us. I'm really glad we built that beacon, though. There is a noticeable difference in doing all of this. And again, I don't really know what we're going to use this wood for right now. There aren't really any immediate plans in my near future for this series that involve really any types of wood, but once we get to building, after episode 100, it's going to kind of breach the dam of building. Right now, of course, leading up to it, we've been doing a lot of mechanical stuff, farms, redstone, all of that different stuff. We've done a little bit of building here and there, but certainly it has not dominated the series. After episode 100, we will definitely do a lot more building. We have all of these plots marked in the cyan wool. Those are all going to be houses. They're not really going to have anything other than the house itself. There's not going to be any special farm or anything like that for any of them. They're just going to be structures. I want to fill all of those in. It's really going to bring some life into our valley here. We'll just pick up the remnants on the edge, and let's go ahead and give this a shot. Again, I'm curious to see how this goes, planting all of these saplings side by side. So we'll start right here in this corner. We'll need some bone meal for that. So we're just going to do these in a row like this, and I guess we will do 8 across. And let's just see how this goes. If we bone meal that, okay, well, that first one worked. Alright, I guess this is working. How about that? Oh, that is a lot nicer. We're just going to repeat that and keep going. Oh, that is so much better. I hope that wood, though, doesn't interfere with this sapling or the next layer. I guess if it does, though, we can just remove it. And I'm thinking it might actually interfere, so we will go ahead and remove that wood right there. Just to be safe. We'll just remove all of this right here. Alright, these are all of the saplings that we have left. We will go back across the top and get some more, but we can do... I mean, we really could fit 2 more rows, but again, I don't want to have it all the way up against the edge. Then we just have too much dropping down here that we have to pick up. But let's get all of these leaves off of the top of the tree. And get the last little bit of dark oak planted. Now, my suspicions are that it is the same thing with birch. We are not going to get... I don't know, how many saplings is this? What are we, 8x8? 2, yeah, 8x8, 64. I don't know that we will get 64 dark oak saplings out of this, but who knows, we might. Dark oak definitely has a lot of leaves in the canopy, so we'll just see how this goes. And of course, right now we are missing our last row of wood, so if we get, I think, 48 out of this, then we can call it a success. I am seeing a lot of saplings drop, though. That is a great sign. And of course, some of them might be falling into the canal down there, so we will have to check the storage house as well. But that is most of the leaves. Let's go around and pick all of these up and see where we are at. We are at 39, so we are actually pretty close to being at that 48 mark. This will put us at 40. And then, of course, whatever we have down at the storage building. Which they might not even be processed yet. 17, some of those are from earlier if I'm not mistaken, so I don't know that we can really include those in the numbers, but it seems like it is actually a little bit better than the birch. Again, a few more leaves in the canopy, but that's pretty nice. Now we just have this giant chunk of dark oak that we can go in and remove. Now I'm really wondering if this is going to work for our giant spruce trees over there. That is the next experiment that we are going to have to try. And of course, when we go to grow these trees, the wood will only replace the leaves or the air blocks. It's not going to actually replace the wood that is already there. That is why I wanted to remove that one row that was over those saplings, because the tree probably still would have grown, but we get less wood out of it. Of course, it's not an issue with birch because they grow in a straight line. But the dark oak, the mangrove is kind of the same way, actually, with that. But this is certainly very helpful. And my guess is, I mean, we're gonna have about as much wood. Well, these trees are a little bit taller than the birch trees. So from the, what did we have? 12 trees that we planted here, we will probably still have about as much birch wood as we got from that entire plot over there, even though we still have a couple more rows that we could have fit into the plot here. See, your live streams are very instructive. Well, I guess they are. They are proving to be at this point. It's a good place to just experiment with stuff and just see how things go. I don't really ever want to make a full episode that is planned around just experimenting, because if the experiment doesn't go well, well then the episode is kind of over. But here, we can play around all we want, try different things, see how they go, trial and error, and it's great. So how much wood did we, oh wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 stacks of dark oak plus 4. That's pretty good, and we were still missing our final row from that. So once again, all of that will be sent to the facility down there, and I guess we can go ahead and do that one more time with our dark oak, and then move on to, well, I do actually want to try it with the spruce, and these leaves are gonna need some time to decay. I guess we could go in and remove them with the hoe, but I'd rather not. So we're just going to chop those down, return to the dark oak plot, replant those trees, bone meal them, and then by then, all of these spruce trees should be gone. I really don't know why it wouldn't work though. But I do want to put a lot of emphasis on gathering spruce and dark oak because those are probably our two most common build types. Of course, we do use a lot of mangrove, but again, that's just a pain in the butt to harvest. And we do use a lot of oak, actually. We have a decent amount, not a whole lot, but having found that method that we are using for our birch trees and now dark oak, it is coming in hot. It is definitely a lot easier to get all of that wood now than it was before. And I know gathering resources isn't nearly as interesting as building on a live stream like what we were doing last week, but of course it is a very vital part of the game. We need to make sure that we have resources so that we can spend those episodes simply building and not have to stop to gather resources every time. So next week, I promise we will definitely be doing some building in the live stream. Just get a few more saplings that are dropping. We should get quite a few from all of these trees by the time we are finished. And I think we have just one tree left right here. And then that will take care of that. And on our last firework rocket too, we'll get some more out of the ender chest here in just a second. Alright, that takes care of all of those trees. We'll hit a few of those leaves here at the bottom. And as those saplings decay, we will throw all of the spruce wood into our canal here. We'll hang on to the saplings, we can get that leaf thrown into there. And the sticks as well, why not? And the apple. We don't need the apple. Alright, so as those leaves decay, we will go replant all of the dark oak up here. And we are going to be just short of having enough to fill in the entire plot, but we will get close. So we'll just do one row at a time here as we've been doing. And I think we will go in and remove some of these logs as we go. Again, that way we can just boost that yield a little bit more. I'm not too worried about those logs way up there. Perfect. And one more row. We will actually get just a few more saplings. We need 16 for this last row. So we'll just get rid of some of these leaves until we get 16 saplings. 14, 15, and... come on. 16. Perfect. Oh, 17. Alright, we got a bonus sapling. We'll remove that wood as well. Again, it's all about maximizing the yield with all of this. Alright, so we will revisit this here in just a moment. The spruce leaves are just about finished decaying down here, and we will get to work on all of that. These leaves right here we may have to break naturally because of the spruce logs that go around the edge. And then the rest of those should decay on their own. This one I'm actually more curious about than the dark oak, because if this works out, we will have some very, very tall blocks of wood, just pure solid wood. So we are going to... this one I think we should do one at a time, just because these trees can grow individually. But look at that. Look at that. That is working perfectly. I figured that was going to happen at some point, but that's not bad. I am impressed. There we go. So we should get enough spruce wood from just one go at this to be able to fill up our large chest, I would assume. Again, I don't know. Again, it's about 1.5 stacks per, and we're gonna have 16 of these trees. So that's 24 stacks. I guess we'll have to do this a couple times. I don't know how much spruce wood we already have. Plus there was the amount that we just chopped down from those lingering trees. Nonetheless, holy spruce Batman, yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, that is... but hey, this is good. I love building with spruce. Probably my favorite wood type. Alright, we'll do one more row of this. We're gonna have just enough saplings. We'll have to get a few more leaves here. We might even have some down... uh-oh. How did that happen? We might even have some leaves. Well, there we go. What in the world? I've never seen that before. Alright, well, this is where we will source our last few spruce saplings, then. Spruce is good, dark oak is my fave, yeah. Dark oak is up there for me. I just don't think it's nearly as versatile, in my opinion, just because of how dark it is. But, yeah, it is certainly up there. I definitely like blending it with birchwood. Creates great contrast. Alright, so there we go. We have a, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 block tall... oh yeah, we need more firework rockets. Block of spruce wood right here. I don't even know how many planks worth of spruce wood that is. But that's going to keep us busy for a little while. Alright, let's get some more firework rockets real quick. I guess we can just throw, not the fireworks chest, the rest of this stuff. We can get rid of all of that. There we go. We are going to need an empty inventory when we go to chop that down. Alright, so fireworks. I didn't even get any out. I put the shulker box away. There we go. Yeah, that is nice and full from all of the gunpowder that we got from the mob farm. We need to make a automated crafter for that. What is the easiest way to do this? I guess we want to go through and remove all of these leaves first. Why not? That way we can just marvel at this thing in all of its spruce wood glory. Did we miss one? Or I guess that's just how tall that tree was. That's the only thing about this. These trees are definitely, they vary in height quite a bit from one to another. So we end up with these pockets and certain trees that are significantly taller than others. But if we just start from the top down and just go row by row, eventually they will all be at the same level. True, spruce has the dark and light-ish. Dark oak is just my go-to for combining with stone and sandstone. You know, we haven't actually built a lot with sandstone in this world. I think we did our cactus farm in sandstone, and that's about it. We really need to start working with it more. It is a very versatile block, especially smooth sandstone. I love smooth sandstone. I wish there were... Wait, I think there are stair and slab variants. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Michael. Are there stair and slab variants of smooth sandstone? Can't remember off the top of my head. This one we are definitely gonna get a lot of... Yes, okay. Thank you. This one we are definitely gonna get a lot of spruce saplings out of. We are already up to 40. And red sandstone too. Yeah, red sandstone's another one that we haven't even really looked at all that much in this series. And honestly, it's one of those resources that I just kind of forget about. I forget that it's there because you don't really encounter it in the world all that often. But yeah, we can definitely do some building with that in the future as well. I'm not too concerned about getting all of the leaves. I just want to remove enough that we can see this giant tree in all of its glory. Alright, so that is all of the leaves on this side. We have a few more right over here. I guess we could also do our bamboo wood today. That goes pretty quickly. What we may even do is just go in there now and harvest it, and every time that grows to its max height again, we'll just continue to go back and harvest it each time. Alright, I'm not going to worry about the leaves right there on that side. We got almost a stack and a half of saplings, probably more by the time we pick up all the saplings around and everything like that. Wow, that's pretty impressive, if I do say so myself. We'll hit these last few leaves here at the top just to clean things up here, and then we'll get to work on chopping this behemoth down. We'll just start from the very top right up here, work our way down row by row. we're already over a stack of spruce wood, and we've only taken a few layers off of this thing. This is definitely going to get us all the way there. I was gonna say, before switching harvests, harvest the bamboo, alternate oak, bamboo, spruce, bamboo, and yeah, that actually does remind me, I'm gonna go do that right now. The only thing is, it fills up our inventory quite a bit, but that's okay. That's what the canals are for. So we'll just go through right here. We'll get a lot of lag from all of those items falling. And we'll hit those last two right there. Now we'll just go through. Yes, send it to the factory. We actually probably need to put a crafter. This is actually going to fill up the storage for... Oh, no. Uh-oh. Okay, well, that's fine. I forgot I put this crafting table here because we are going to just turn it into bamboo wood before we send it in there. That's what our item filter is set to for bamboo. Any just raw bamboo like this, these stalks that go in there, those just get filtered out into the final chest, the sort of junk chest, I guess, where everything else goes if it doesn't have a spot. But the bamboo blocks, that is what we are sending into there for that very reason, because, again, it fills up our inventory quite a bit. Alright, so that takes care of our first bamboo harvest. Let's get back on top of this thing and continue to chop it down. We're just about to an even layer across the board. We'll get this last little bit, and then we will see where we are at. Already over 4 stacks once again. I don't remember if we emptied out some of it before we did the bamboo, or after we did the bamboo, but nonetheless, 4 stacks is pretty good, and we still have a very long ways to go with this. I am very, 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 very glad that we have that haste too. I think this would have been the final straw for this, doing a giant chunk of spruce wood like this. Are we level now? Yes, we are. So everything is at the same level. So from here all the way to the bottom, it is just pure spruce wood. 1 stack of spruce logs every layer that we break. I think after this it will be enough chopping for one day. We will make our way out to the quarry and spend the last part of the stream out there. Yes, one stack of logs per layer. 8 by 8. And we have all of this spruce wood. Yeah, I planted all of these trees adjacent to each other, and we're just kind of chopping it down. Again, not really sure what we are going to use all of this wood for. We do need to fill up our wood shulker box in our ender chest, so that we always have some wood with us everywhere that we go. Oh, hello. Yes. Leave me alone, I'm trying to sleep. I need to turn up the hostile mob sounds again. We turned those down for the Enderman farm so that they didn't bother us. We'll get that back up now. Alright, let's finish off this giant chunk of wood here. Not kinda chopping it down, you are the deforestation master right now. Yeah, we certainly are. Yes. But we're getting there, and we have the help from the haste beacon, thank goodness. And I think we have efficiency 5. Oh. Okay, we have efficiency 4 on the axe, I didn't even realize that. This is probably going to make a big difference. I don't even know. Do we have efficiency books back here? I think we do. The real question is, are we going to have enough levels to put efficiency 5 onto this thing? Let's find it here. I guess efficiency 4 would work as well. There's 5. Just want to see if we have efficiency 4. I don't think we do. I don't think we have a villager that sells efficiency 4, so we're going to go with efficiency 5. There's 2. Alright, we'll get that put on there. Oh, only 12 levels. Sharpness 5, Silk Touch, Efficiency 5, Unbreaking 3, and Mending. That's about as good of an axe as we are going to get. So let's see if this makes any kind of difference now. I'm sure it will. I don't think we can instant mine logs. I'm gonna be pretty mad if we can, actually. Okay, it's a little bit faster. Not by a whole lot, but a noticeable difference. And when I say mad, I would have been mad that we weren't using it before. I would have loved to have been able to instant mine all of this wood, though. That's okay, at least we got that resolved. So once we finish chopping all of this down, again, we are going to head out to the quarry and get... Probably, last time we were just getting enough stone to work on our wall. This time we are probably actually going to fill up 4 to 6 shulker boxes worth of stone, because that is useful for stone bricks. We are going to use it for the path, building, all different kinds of things. So I just want to make sure we have a lot of that. I also want to smelt a lot of it and turn it into smooth stone. That way we can build with smooth stone. We haven't really done a whole lot of building with it. Of course, it has its very specific applications. With that grid pattern, it's not actually perfectly smooth. We have a little bit of variation in the pattern, but if we use it correctly, it can certainly look great. Did you move your portal yet to the quarry area? Not yet. We are going to do that when we head over there. That's part of why I wanted to get all of that obsidian at the start of the episode, so that we would have enough to do a portal right there. So that is coming up. Is our inventory almost full? Yeah, it sure is. So we'll probably empty this out here as we are down to our final 3 layers. And we'll get these saplings thrown in there as well. We don't really need those. We're not going to replant right now. We will, but we won't do it right this moment. I am now realizing something though. Having all of this, I think the way our item filters are set up, it may actually be breaking the system if we put this... Yes, that's probably a good idea, water break time. After we tear down this tree, I will do a short break and then we will return and head out to the end. But I think with the amount of items that we have going into the spruce chest there, it might be breaking the filter because of the way it's set up. I might have to reconfigure that. But we're going to see when we get over there. Hopefully it is working just fine, but I'm sure that chest is going to be very backed up, probably close to full. But last layer right here, just a few more logs, and our 16 extra large spruce trees are all gone. Let's get these last few logs thrown into the canal here. There we go, and the sticks as well. We're just going to let the bamboo continue to grow, and we're going to go check out in here, see where we are at. In the spruce chest. Okay, it isn't quite full, actually. And it sounds like the minecart is... Is it filling up? Oh, oops. Wait, what did I do? How did I manage to pull that off? Is that filling up? This is supposed to be stopping right here. I don't know what the... Oh no. Uh-oh. Are we... Wait a minute. Oh. Okay. So, this repeater is causing issues for us in this hopper. We are going to need... You know what? We're going to deal with this another time because we have to completely reconfigure this row of hoppers or move this around. Unless, can we power this block right here? Let's try that. Let's see if that works. So those should be flowing into there now. And that should... Is that going to cause issues, though? I don't think it will. I don't think we have enough signal strength right there to cause issues with that. That should be filling up with our spruce. And it's still pouring in from way back there. But I do want to just remove some of these just so we can see if that chest is going to be sent off. That should power this block. I don't know why this wouldn't work. We have that repeater going into that block and powering it. But that should work out for us. That'll take a little bit of time. In the meantime, we will get the rest of that spruce put into there. and we are going to take a quick break, real quick. We will be right back, and we will make our way out to the end. Alright, I will see all of you right back here in just a few minutes. And we are back. So it is time to go out to the end and see what we have. Not the end. Wait, what am I saying? We're not going to the end. We are going out to the quarry, which will involve heading to the Nether to link up our portal. We do need to get the beacon though, and we need to get our shulker box, or our ender chest, a few more shulker boxes, and head out there. So let's grab our beacon. We should still have those emeralds in our inventory. Yes, we do. Both of our pickaxes are at high durability. We are getting a mixture of stone and some cobblestone when we are out there. We can leave those bones right here for now. So we have 3 empty blue shulker boxes right there. Of course, we always have those in our ender chest for when we fill up our inventory if we are doing some exploring or anything like that. But we are going to get a few more from the storage facility just so we have those in case. Again, I do want to fill up a lot of these boxes. We're going to put away the rest of these items. We don't need the bamboo. We don't need the redstone dust, and we don't need the bone meal either. We are finished with that for the day. I think that is everything taken care of. We have our beacon. Again, we already have a beacon base out there, so we just need to get the beacon placed down. And I think we are good to head out. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I forgot which direction we went, but I do remember it was positive in both directions, if I'm not mistaken. So we are just gonna find out. Again, we can always travel back on the ice highway if we need to. But we do need to go out to the quarry first to get the coordinates and build a portal before we link our portal to it. I'm going to assume it was in this direction, just because that is where our boat is. Is that positive in both directions? Yes, it is. So we will do that and make our way in this direction. Of course, this won't take us too long. Maybe 10 to 15 seconds, if that. And our portal should be here on the other side. Now, of course, as of one of the more recent updates, we can actually set up our portal right here and instantly travel through if we put our boat right there. We will reconfigure that later on. In the meantime, let's head up to the quarry, because of course we spawned down here in this cave, so we need to work our way out. And is it right up here? Yes, it is. Perfect. Uh-oh. Oh, yes, I think we just blocked off the water, which actually we're going to want to make some kind of airlock here so that we don't break our torches. We'll just go down and then back up. That will prevent the water from hitting all of those torches and messing anything up. Let's remove that gravel here to make it a little easier to get out. And let's actually go ahead and build a pillar of stone. That is going to make this a little bit easier to find when we come back here later on. But for now, we can just take down the coordinates 1171 and 8087. I'll write those down in the chat. 1171, 8087. Alright, let's make our way. I think it was in this direction over here. My render distance is down a little bit from what it was before. But yeah, this looks vaguely familiar. I don't want to get lost out here though. Maybe we will just go ahead and turn up the render distance real quick so we can see where we are. We'll get that up to 20. Yeah, that is... well, I think it was over here. Yep, this looks very familiar. Get that turned back down. There we go. And back to this incredible scenery that we stumbled upon in the last episode. Of course, we have our goats, all of these snow-capped mountains up here. We just need to find out where the quarry was. You can use Fulbright and map mods. I do like to keep this series vanilla though. I don't want to have any mods or texture packs or even shader packs or anything like that. This one we're keeping vanilla. I am doing there's our beacon. I am doing All the Mods 9 series. If you haven't seen that, definitely go check that out, especially if you are into mods. We get into a little bit of everything in that series, and it is a lot of fun. Oh, he can get up onto this beacon. Okay, I thought there was a bit of a gap. I guess not. So we'll get that place down. We will get our haste 2 into place. And we will get to work. Do we just want to work from the top down? That way we don't have this giant gap down here. I think we'll do that. That way we get some of the natural daylight as well, and we don't have any mobs spawning. So let's just be careful of powdered snow while we are up here. We can even remove some of these snow blocks and take them back home with us. We are nearing the holiday season, and we will probably do some festive builds later on, so the snow will be very useful to us. Alright, so let's get started on mining stone. We're going to begin with our silk pickaxe, fill up a few shulker boxes first with that, and then we will, that would be good, flatten the mountain. And then we will do the rest with our fortune pickaxe and get some cobblestone. Again, that way we just have a variety. We do already have a decent amount of cobblestone, not as much as I would like to have though. That's really hard. I assume you're referring to playing just vanilla only. That, it definitely does present a challenge, and when I go to the, all the mod series, it definitely is a big difference, because we have tools and enchantments in that just make life so much easier, especially our refined storage system and our magnetic ability on some of our tools. It is a big difference, but part of the vanilla game that is fun is finding ways to be creative about certain aspects where you would normally want to make things more efficient. So whether that means building a beacon next to the wood farm and having all of those canals for when your inventory fills up, or say carrying around a bunch of shulker boxes, or anything like that. Just all different kinds of things that we can accomplish just in vanilla. And wow, we already have a full inventory. I guess it was kind of full to begin with. We probably need to get rid of, well, we can go place down some of these items down here on our beacon. Make sure there's no mobs. We'll get our bed put down. We'll place our ender chest, and we'll keep those shulker boxes in there for now. I guess that's probably good. I guess we can put the book in there. That should be fine. We have one more slot. We'll put the emeralds in there. We don't need those for anything. But yeah, finding ways to be creative about the vanilla game, it's definitely a fun challenge. But with all of the recent updates, there are so many different types of blocks that we don't really run into that. And yeah, it sounds like we're getting ads in the middle of the stream. That's fantastic. Are you able to go back and rewind the stream during the live broadcast? Are you able to do that? Because if not, that's a setting that I will have to change on my end. And it can be changed if you're not able to go back. And I know, of course, then you wouldn't be live. I guess you could always watch at 2x speed or something to get caught back up. And regardless, I do actually post the lives once they are finished. So if you missed anything important, or for you, Michael, the start of the episode, if you want to go back and watch that, I do leave them published afterwards so that you can go back and view the stream again. It's also nice for anyone who wasn't able to join the stream at all to be able to go back and see the behind the scenes of the series. There's a lot that we do behind the scenes that doesn't get shown, even not during the live streams. There's other stuff that I've been working on throughout the week, just trying to prepare for many different things. Another full inventory. Alright, we don't want to fill up stone, preferably, or fill up the stone shulker box with snow. Anyway, of course, one of those behind the scenes things is the museum. So much obsidian, you should leave an ender chest here as well. You know, that's not actually a bad idea. We probably will end up doing that. Of course, I don't have any Eyes of Ender. We'll have to go back home. Oh, I need to make the portal. I forgot about that. So, let's go down. Let's grab this shulker box before it becomes out of reach. Let's head down to our base camp right down here. Get some sleep, and then we will build the nether portal. I guess we could just build it on top of this beacon. I mean, what is the range of this thing? I'm curious. Can we reach the edge of this mountain on this side? 8, 7... No, we can't. Okay, where is the range of this? Can we reach here? This is going to be pretty close. We can always move that beacon too, but I think having this set up as a place where we can mine as well. We have a lush cave right in the middle of all of these jagged peaks. That is pretty cool. But we will probably eventually mine this as well if we need that much stone. But let's get right back down here and get a nether portal put into place. We'll go here on the inside. I think that is a good spot for it. Where is the ender chest? Here it is. Nether portal range is 100 blocks. I'm assuming you meant beacon range with that. That's good to know. If that's what you did mean. Alright, so we will build this portal here. And we need our flint and steel. How do you transfer all the same blocks into a chest at once? I know to combine... Okay, yes. So, to do that, let's place down a shulker box. You hold the item, and then you hold shift and double click onto the item that you're putting in there. You don't necessarily have to hold that specific item. Actually, if you just shift double click, okay, that doesn't work. But if you're holding some other item, say I'm holding this snow and I shift double click, it's left click, shift double left click onto that stone, it just goes right in there. Same with the snow, shift double left click, and then of course if you hold shift and single click, they go like that. Alright, so we need the coordinates of this. 208. Is that gonna be too tall? I'm afraid it might be. We might want to take this down to 128. Just to be safe. I've never tried to link a portal that is at Y level 211 in the overworld, and I guess if we really wanted to, we could go all the way up to that level in the nether, but I'd rather make things as easy as possible inside. Or maybe, oh wait, maybe you did mean 100 blocks for the nether portal. I'm realizing I think I misinterpreted that. I'm still a little concerned about the Y level though. I guess it wouldn't hurt to try, but I already broke the obsidian, and I just don't really want to have to break it again if it doesn't work. So we're gonna go down to 128, or at least near there. This should work. Right here at 143, it should be close enough. So we'll just build the portal right here, going up, and light this portal. There we go. And this portal is at 222 and 8279. 279. There we go. And now into the nether we go. So we're going to have to go back to the ocean, into our original portal, which was at 1179 and 8087, I believe. It was near the ocean monument. So 8087 and 1179, we should see our pillar in the water. Hopefully, yes, there it is. I was worried we might not be able to see it with all of the kelp, but here it is. And that will be a lot faster than walking this path every single time we want to get back to our nether portal. I still don't know how I guess because of the ocean, I guess that makes sense that it generated down here, but it's still annoying nonetheless. It is time to do some math. So we need to do, let me pull up my calculator here. 222 divided by 8 is 27.75. So we need to go to basically 28. And I just want to make sure we don't lose that portal right here. Maybe we should place some torches down. Don't have any torches. Should have brought the ender chest. We'll just use snow blocks for now. We're going to extend the ice highway over in this direction anyway, once it is finished. And then I guess I should probably just divide that Z coordinate right now before we get too far in this direction. So it is 8279 divided by 8, 1034, basically 1035. So 28 and 1035. So we're actually pretty close here. We'll go in this direction a little bit. $1,035 and 28. And that will put us right here. And these portals should link up. Alright, let's light this and let's step on through. Let's see how this goes. Hey, look at that. Alright, we are linked. And when we step back through... Perfect. Alright, so that takes care of that. We, again, just have to extend that ice highway out. But the snow blocks for now work. We can just fly back and forth with our firework rockets to get to and from. Alright, back up to mining the mountain up here. Something I do need to figure out between now and next stream. I thought I took care of this setting, but the latency between, I guess the delay between my end and when all of you are seeing it broadcast onto YouTube, because the messages, I think the stream latency is maybe about 15 seconds or so, so all of your messages, you're reacting to what I've done 15 seconds ago, which, you know, it really isn't a huge issue, but it would be nice to get that a little bit closer to being real time. But just know that when you comment something, I'll see it basically... Wait, no, I'll react to it within 15 seconds of the time that you commented, is essentially how that works. I think we're just gonna, rather than try to fill up multiple shulker boxes or do a certain number, I think we're just gonna go until our Silk Touch pickaxe is worn down, and then we'll do the same thing with our Fortune pickaxe, unless we're just like way overflowing with everything, in which case we will make a trip back home and probably end the stream after we do that. And we are filling up shulker boxes pretty quickly, so we'll see how things go. Again, cobblestone is not as big of a deal. Really, the biggest thing for cobblestone, aside from the path that we build, because we do use cobblestone in that, and texturing in the wall and things like that, other than that, it's really just for crafting things like dispensers, droppers, and any other blocks that require cobblestone to craft. When is the next stream? It is going to be next Friday, same time. They are starting to become a weekly occurrence. Right now, this timing works pretty well for me, Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern. I can adjust plus or minus a couple hours if, yeah, be careful not to let things despawn. Yep, keeping an eye on all of that. I can adjust it plus or minus a couple hours, but we're keeping it on Fridays. We're not going to do Saturdays, at least not right now. It just doesn't work out as well for my schedule. I can't be on for nearly as long, and I'd rather do a longer stream on Fridays than a shorter one on Saturdays. Alright, full inventory again. We are just moving right along. Our pickaxe is about at half durability, so we will just continue on. I think we'll get a few more layers out of it. And that box is full. We'll remove some of this gravel too. Gravel's another thing that we actually are a little bit short on right now. We are probably up to maybe 10 to 20 stacks, maybe even close to 30. But again, that's one of those items that we use for the path. The 6 or 7, I think it's 6 main items we use for that are stone, cobblestone, stone bricks, gravel, andesite, and tuff. And then we sprinkle in some coarse dirt and stairs for depth and things like that. So having gravel is definitely a big part of that. I'm so glad you decided to start streaming. I really enjoy your videos so much. It is just nice to also get to interact in more capacity than just commenting on videos. I absolutely agree. So far, I have absolutely loved streaming. It's been a ton of fun, and as I mentioned last week, there's a bit of accountability with this. There's no way I would have set up a quarry and finished that wall if I wasn't streaming. So, yeah, definitely a big part of that. Helpful on both ends. Really, I'm just glad our nether portal linked up, because that makes it a lot easier to get out here and get stone. And of course, with all of these gravel veins, both here and in other mountains, it's a good source of gravel too, and I guess apparently clay and moss if we are after that as well. Definitely a lot faster than chopping wood, though, that's for sure. Really nice having the instant mine ability. And I do know for a fact that we have efficiency 5 on both of our pickaxes, unlike our axe. I really did think that that was fully enchanted, but I guess not. And now I'm second guessing the netherite hoe, which is also efficiency 4, but that one doesn't really matter. That one's already instant mine for most of the blocks that it can do. However, once we start chopping down some of those nether trees, the crimson warped wood, we are going to want to have the efficiency 5, I think. I don't know if we can get all the way to instant mine with efficiency 4 on that. Alright, well, we have filled up our first 2 shulker boxes. We'll just run around and gather a little bit more of this stone here. And then we will grab a few more out of the ender chest. Things are going pretty well here. It's actually going nice and quick for us. And of course, we are getting ever so closer to the lair that we started on. Alright, so we have this shulker box right down here. That purple one, and then we have the 3 blue ones in here that we will also utilize. I guess for now, I hate to do this, but for now, well, never mind. We are going to use this stone shulker box that we have dedicated to stone. We are going to transfer some of this stone into here, and we are going to store things like gravel, snow, and ores inside of this shulker box, just to help with our inventory management a little bit, and it will keep our inventory from filling up so fast. We'll put the obsidian in there as well, and I guess we can put the flint and steel back in our tools shulker box and return that to the ender chest. Alright, that takes care of that. Our stone shulker box is full now. We can return that to the ender chest. Again, that is just helpful for having building blocks on hand if we are out in the middle of nowhere and we need blocks for anything. That is not ideal right now, because now that snow is just going to pile up on top of all these stone, but that's okay. Are you planning to make a mega base? Well, I guess, kind of. It depends on what your definition of mega base is. I plan on... Well, I'll put it like this. I don't really see an end in sight for this survival world. So it is possible, I think a lot of people would actually consider what I hope to do to be a mega base. And there are a bunch of mega projects that I do want to work on. I mentioned some of them in the last episode. One of them is turning every naturally generating structure in the game into a village, including the end cities and the ancient cities. That one is going to be a very, very long project. Getting all of the different armor trim patterns and combinations on every single set of armor, that one is going to take a long time as well. So we are gonna be in it for the long haul, for sure. Oh, good source of blue ice as well, actually. That is great to know. Of course, we're going to get a lot of coal and iron ore from all of this as well. Not really sure what we will do with that. The coal we just don't really use anymore. We use lava for our fuel. I guess occasionally we make torches out of it. But the iron, well, we have an iron farm now. really just using that ore as decoration. If we want to make raw iron blocks and use those somewhere, I'm sure we could find a creative way to make those work, regardless of their busy pattern. And actually, coal blocks can be used in quite a few instances. They work pretty well. They're dark, but they have just enough texture to them that they can look really, really nice. So there's another full shulker box now. Just run around and grab all of this stone here. And we need the sun to go down or some thunder and lightning so that we can sleep off this snow. It's not really creating too many issues for us. It's just annoying more than anything else. And I am keeping an eye on that pickaxe durability here. Yeah, I guess we could texture with raw iron blocks. I'm trying to think off the top of my head what exactly those look like. I mean, they are pretty similar to that ore. I guess they could work with... I'm trying to think. They could work with mud, actually. They could work with... They might be a little bit too pink for sandstone. Maybe gravel, depending on the certain color scheme. Did I take a before? I did not take a before. I certainly could, though, in a copy of this world. I'll just get the seed. But, yeah, I think that would actually be really cool, a before and after. Certainly, it is changing very, very rapidly. So we're going to get this final layer with our Silk Touch pickaxe, and then we are going to switch over to our Fortune pickaxe. That way we don't have anything breaking here. So we're also going to switch to the blue shulker chest. They work with dripstone too. Yes, hadn't thought about that. Yeah, lots of different great combinations that we could use with that. Maybe we'll work with that here in an upcoming episode. I think a few different colors of terracotta could also work. We'll find something to build that utilizes that. That and red sandstone. Our list of items that we need to build with is growing. Alright, let's switch now into our cobblestone mode. Just swap out the pickaxes here. I think we're getting relatively close. We are. We have maybe 15 more layers until we reach our base camp area. And then I think we will continue to break the mountain as we go down and just go maybe about to the level of our portal down there. Or maybe over here on this side down to... maybe down to about right there, which would be slightly above where our portal is. You should be fortuning that iron and coal though too. Well, I mean, we could, but there's really no use for it right now. I mean, the iron, yes, because we can make raw iron blocks, but the coal, we just have so much coal. Honestly, I'd rather save it and use it for decorating if we want to do any decorating with it. It's kind of the same thing with emeralds. Like, we have such easy access to emeralds, but emerald ore is kind of rare. So anytime I come across some emerald ore, which hopefully will be pretty soon, I always like to silk touch it instead of fortunate. And yeah, silk touch does give us the blocks to fortune later if we want to place them down. And actually I did have a world one time, a survival world, where I needed... I'm trying to remember what it was. I had so many blocks of coal ore, like more than you would ever need to actually build with anything. So I placed them all down. It was probably, I don't know, 1,000 coal ore blocks. Probably more, actually. It was, I think, a large chest full. Nonetheless, it was a lot of coal ore. And I just placed it all down, got a ton of XP, tons of coal, and was able to use those coal blocks. Again, coal blocks are great for building. What is my subscriber goal? Well, I don't know. I don't really have one right now. Of course, the 10,000 goal and that mural that we did over the summer was definitely a special one. But right now, I don't really have a goal. Just continue to grow. Alright, we're gonna sleep off this snow. Once and for all, our beacon is almost completely covered. I challenged my wife to make a build with ore blocks. She likes to... she likes to just mine. Yeah. Sometimes without purpose, just to do it. Yeah, I mean, I will do that for getting deep slate, because I love to build with deep slate, cobbled deep slate, and then polishing it and making tiles and things like that, bricks. Which actually, that's another thing that we do need to resource gather. We're not going to do that today. We'll save that for a future stream. But we will do that at some point, because that is probably one of the most common blocks that we use for building in the valley. Yeah, so you said she should silk touch and just save the ores and do a full build with just ores. I love it. I'm in that mural. Yes, you sure are. That was a very tedious project. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely loved doing it, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. But hand placing all of those blocks, I'd look back and forth between the plans and kind of go one block at a time and then individually grab out each item. I'm sure there's probably a mod or data pack I could have used that would have made it easier, but that kind of takes the reward feeling away from it. Just doing it manually, hand placing. I think it took 15 hours, I think is what I logged on that world. Some of that time was just spent recording those clips for all of those shorts, but no more than an hour, so all of that time spent on that world was pretty much all from building. But yeah, it was definitely fun. And then, of course, my skin changed like halfway through it, kind of updated it, made it look a little bit nicer. But yeah, I'm glad it's done, but it was definitely a very fun project to do. I'm starting to think about what we might do for 50 or 100k. Because as crazy as it sounds, the rate of growth from... Oh, dang it. Oh, I did not mean to do that. We were just talking about silk touching emerald ores too. Okay, that's okay, we'll find more. The rate of growth from 1,000 to 10,000 is actually the same as 10,000 to 100,000. So we'll see what happens. Again, I'm not really in a rush to get to that point. I think 20 or 50,000 for now would be a little bit more reasonable. Luffy says, by the way, this is the first time watching your channel. Well, thank you. I hope you are enjoying it. I'm glad you've stuck around for as long as you have, and put up with me as long as you have. But again, welcome to the channel. Once the stream ends, which will be, we just hit the 3-hour mark, so that's going to be coming up here in just a moment. We're just going to do a few more layers. Definitely go check out some of my other videos. I have a modded series if you are into building. I have tons of different build playlists for houses and other structures, vehicles if you're into the more realistic side of Minecraft. It is all up to you. Lots of aviation. I love building planes and things like that in the game as well. But yeah, definitely stick around and check out some of that other stuff. And again, thanks for hanging out in the stream today. Alright, full inventory again. And full shulker box again. I think we are down to our last shulker box right here. So we are getting very, very close. I highly recommend going back and watching the original content. Nolan is a really great, enthusiastic player. He plays the way I believe people should play the game. Well, you know, you like the original content more than I do. I've definitely come a long ways. All the stuff that I can't watch, I'm sure, is all of the great content you are referring to. Very creative and informative. I try to be informative. I do my best. Sometimes I mislead people, such as that rabbit bundle episode. That was, you know, we're just not going to talk about that. I really did think that I could make bundles out of rabbit hide. Nonetheless, we have a rabbit enclosure out of it, and a bundle made with leather. Oh well. Alright, full inventory again. How did that happen? I guess the coal and iron is really filling up our inventory, and unfortunately that one emerald that we picked up. Don't worry, there will be more. We actually did get a few emerald ores from the last layer, and as we work our way down this mountain, we will find even more. So, really, I'm not worried at all. Let's get that cobblestone put into there. Let's go throw this iron and coal into the shulker box. We have some mobs that want to come over and say hi. We will let them burn up in the sunlight as we make our way back up to the top. Yeah, originally in the experiment, bundles were made with rabbit hide, and then they changed it before the release, and I didn't bother to check the changelog when that update came out. I was just so excited about it. They were finally here. They were rabbit hide and 2 string for all those years that they were in the experimental version, and then the devs just decided to switch it up right at the end, because why would we make rabbit hide useful? It's like bats, right? Why make rabbit hide useful when we could just give leather another use? Oh well, they are definitely easier to make, and I do appreciate that fact. Well, we are getting very close to our original lair that we mined out last week. we're just gonna continue to do this. This might be our last one. That shulker box is getting very close to being full. So I think this will be our last layer, and then we will pack up and head home. And this will give us plenty of stone and cobblestone for quite some time. We shouldn't need to come back here anytime soon. I do want to get some of it smelting, though. We don't have any lava in the furnace room right now. That might actually be our next episode. Monday's episode is making a a power plant where we can have all of our dripstone for the lava. That will be a little bit easier. And then of course we will just have a hopper system that takes those buckets of lava next door into our smelting facility, and that will be all fully automatic. The transporting part, not the scooping up part. You have a bunch of coal. Yes, I definitely do. And we have even more of it back at home. I guess we could use coal in the power plant, but again, we can turn that into coal blocks. I'd rather do that. And then, of course, you know, lava's really only good for, well, fuel. So we're going to use the lava for fuel. It's a lot more efficient anyway, and sustainable as well. Although there are some villagers, who is it? Is it the butcher and... I think it's the butcher and the armorer will take coal for emeralds. I think a 10-to-1 ratio. But that's still not... In my opinion, it still doesn't make it worth it. So, we're just gonna turn it into blocks. Use them for building at some point. So add coal to that list. So we now have red sandstone, iron blocks, and coal. Raw iron blocks. Alright, we'll get this last little bit right here. We'll go around the edge and get the rest of the snow. And then we should only have a few more layers. We're not going to do those today, but we should be getting nice and close to the base. Perfect. Alright, and yes, a very full inventory indeed. Weaponsmith, toolsmith, and armorer. Okay, thank you. We have a goat in here, a bat, a zombie, and a spider. Nice diversity of mobs in there. We're gonna leave this ender chest here. We're gonna leave the bed here. We're gonna take this shulker box with us, and we need the beacon as well. Everything else, we are good to leave here. I think. Yeah. We'll just make another bed and add that to our shulker box back at home. And yeah, this portal being here makes it so much easier to get back. 15 coal for 1 emerald? Okay. Good to know. I mean, again, it doesn't really matter to us. We're not gonna participate in that trade. I guess we might as well go ahead and turn all of the coal that we got into blocks. Same with the raw iron. It's better for our storage anyway. Alright, back home. Well, just about. So we didn't quite get around to any of those optional items today, but that's okay. We got plenty of resources, and those will hold us over for quite some time. So I think the cobblestone chest, okay, it's not actually as full as I was worried it might be. The stone chest, I think, is pretty empty. Oh, half full. Alright, so the stone is going to need to overflow upstairs. That's okay. Novice fishermen also have a 50% chance to trade 10 coal for an emerald too. Okay, so lots of coal trades happening. Alright, so this stone chest is full. Actually, I like to leave a few layers open in case we have just a little bit of stone that we need to put away. That way we don't have to go upstairs. That box is empty. This one is full. We'll take this upstairs. We might as well hit the cobblestone too while we're at it. Let's go ahead and make another shulker box real quick. So we need our obsidian, which is in the ender chest, and we need eyes of ender. Do we have ender eyes right up here? How about that? I guess we could, well, we'll just make one. We don't need a surplus of ender chests. We'll get that crafted. We'll pull out the rest of these shulker boxes. We'll go throw all of this stone up here in this box. There we go. Get the rest of this emptied out. Did you get the mace? I have not gotten the mace yet. We have 21 trial keys that we need to take to some various trial vaults. They are awaiting their ominous vault openings. But we will do that. We might start the next episode by doing that before we transition into... What did I even say we were going to do next episode? I already forgot. I'm all over the place sometimes. 20 raw blocks of iron, 24 blocks of coal. We will store these over here. There we go. Nice diversity set of all of our different iron materials in there. And the rest of that is just stone and cobblestone and a little bit of snow here and there and some gravel. And I have, yeah, I do have Windburst already. But yeah, nothing to put it on. I'd rather have a mace. Is it really the rarest enchantment in the game? That's awesome. I have the rarest enchantment in the game, but I do not have a mace. So that's where we're at with that. But I think that takes care of everything for today. Let's have one more look at our list. Oh, and we do need to put a bed into our shulker box. What color are we going to go with this time? We're going to go with lime. I love how this always changes every once in a while. We'll get a lime bed put into there, swap that out for our birch saplings, and we will restore our ender chest back to normal. Our stone chest is full. Our wood, or shulker box, we will fill that up with spruce, which is back at the other storage building. We'll do that a little bit later, another time. But for now, I think that is where we will end the stream for today. Thank you so much for hanging out, especially you, Michael and Luffy. Welcome to the channel. I appreciate both of you for hanging out and all of the comments, and I appreciate anyone else who tuned in for today's stream. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up on this stream. Go ahead and share it if you know someone else who might enjoy it as well. Also, in the description, I have a couple more important pieces of information, links, how to contact me, and all of that good stuff. In the meantime, we will be back here on Monday, not for a live stream, but for an episode. We will be back here on Monday, and once again, we will be live next Friday. So, again, not really sure what we will work on, but we will find something to do. But with all of that being said, comment, like, subscribe, remember to stay optimistic. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see all of you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.